Welcome to another 6-minute training with Dusty. We just wrapped up a fantastic webinar with Bill Mark of Corporate Tax Incentives. We're going to go over it real quick, kind of a high-level view of cost segregation and depreciation. And so this is his specialty is cost segregation, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that. So as far as cost segregation goes, there's something called depreciation, and cost segregation is a way of breaking things up a little bit more. When you buy a property, looking at it right here, there's a value of the land, and then there's the value of the improvements to that land. What you're doing with depreciation is writing off the improvements. Land is not going to fall apart like a building would, so you're writing off the value of those improvements on the property you bought. And what you do with that is you break that up. If it's a commercial building, that can be broken up over 39 years. If it's a multifamily building, that can be broken up over 27 and a half years. Now, Bill is on the line here. Bill, that's a very quick way to talk about depreciation. And what you guys is do cost segregation. If you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. So cost segregation is a tax planning strategy that maximizes your depreciation by separating the construction components of the building into shorter class life properties. Those shorter class life properties are going to allow us to front load more depreciation in the early years of owning that property, and that's going to allow the property owner to pay less in taxes and thus generate cash flow for them. That's essentially the number one goal of cost segregation.
So if I'm for example, if I'm a multifamily owner, I've got an option when I buy the building to write it off over 27 and a half years. Or I could take your guys' approach. I could hire you, and you'll go in and you'll create a schedule for all of the refrigerators. Will go on a schedule. Is that correct?
It's close, correct. So what our goal is going to be is to go in there and separate all the personal property from the real property. The personal property items are going to be everything that we're going to put into a 5, 7, or 15-year category. For a multifamily property, it would be either 5 years or 15 years. And yes, we would break out the equipment / appliances into one category. We're going to separate out, the flooring, all the different types of flooring between if it's carpet, LVT, ceramic tile, etc. And we're also going to break out the different real property components of the building as well, such as the structure, the roof, windows, walls. You're going to have a complete breakdown of all the different major components of the building.
And so what that'll do is that'll, as much as possible, load up that value of that building, that write-off, in the front portion, hopefully 15 years or sooner, instead of waiting, almost 30 years or almost 40 years to write these things off. A lot of people, if you're listening, if you're an investor or if you're an agent, if you buy a building, you're usually not going to own it for 30 years. You're usually going to cycle through to some other investments and move the equity around to, like right here, get as much depreciation and tax write-offs as you can. So let me ask you this. If I bought a building 2 years ago, can I still do a cost segregation study?
Absolutely. From a timing perspective, a cost seg study, you can bring in a cost seg provider in at pretty much any time during the life of the building, even if it's before a project is built. If it's in the process of being built, you can still bring in a cost seg provider. But yes, even if you've owned a book and owned a building and had it on your book for, let's say, 10 to 15 years, it's still possible that a cost seg study could benefit that client.
And from what I understand, obviously this does cost money to have someone go in there and do all this work, breaking things out. About when is it appropriate? What kind of price range or value range would it be appropriate to bring in your team to do one of these?
So there's a $1 million number is the bare minimum that we like to look for any particular type of project, whether it's a new acquisition or something that's been on your books for a year or more, or a new construction type property. We look for $1 million. That's where we can finally start to make the benefit make sense versus the cost of the study. I will quickly point out that if we're talking about a large scale renovation, we can reduce that number to about $500,000. There's less likely that we're going to be dealing with a whole lot of structure / real property of the building in a renovation. So we can lower that threshold to $500,000 in those cases. But for any building acquisition, we're looking for at least $1 million.
Okay. So if you're listening and you own a building or you own commercial real estate or apartments, whether it's new, whether you're building it or you've owned it for several years, it's important to talk to Bill and his team or someone like them. You really should not be depreciating on a straight line if the numbers work, because you should be front loading that as much as you can. Bill's information is up here. Also, anywhere you find us on the internet, there should be a link in the description to contact Bill or myself. Our team actually helps multifamily owners trade their apartments and multifamily for hands-off, no management properties like Starbucks and Taco Bell. And so if you're interested in that, go ahead and find my information below, and Bill's information should be there as well. Bill, thanks again for teaching us about cost segregation.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
If this training has been helpful for you at all, I highly suggest you join us at StraihtTalkAcademy.com. We have a membership site. This has 50 plus hours of commercial real estate training videos. We have all these toolkits and templates and tools, marketing materials, everything that we use in our commercial brokerage ourselves, we offer to our members. There's a private group just for our members to ask questions, troubleshoot problems. If you have a problem with a letter of intent or a client, we're on there. We're talking monthly. We have professional interviews with different industry professionals that have all kinds of tools and different ways to help your clients. And we also have live office hours where you can join us live and ask us questions. So it's a great way to have some support in commercial real estate. If you're an agent looking to break into commercial real estate, I would really suggest you go over there. It's a monthly fee. It's not that much, and there's a lot of benefit to it. Thanks.